evening. To the scholarship recipients, proud parents, family members, mentors, educators, and community leaders that are here tonight, thank you, donors and attendees. Please give all of our donors and attendees that are contributing to this special night a big round of applause. We couldn't do it without you. When Kelly first asked me about this, I did question her why she'd want me to do it, because why would you choose someone whose GED is still being investigated? Seriously, I jumped at the opportunity, as giving back is a part of who I am. I asked Kelly how long she would like me to speak. She said about 20 to 30 minutes, so I made it about 80. I'm kidding. My beautiful wife, Jackie, usually gives me 30 seconds before I tune out, and she tunes me out. So it's going to be a record for all of us tonight, I think. Tonight is not just a celebration of scholarships, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is a celebration of sacrifice. It's a celebration of resilience. It's a celebration of hope. And for many of you tonight, it represents something much bigger than money for college. It represents generations of struggle, sacrifice, and dreams finally beginning to break through barriers. To every parent in this room who worked double shifts, sacrificed sleep, worried about bills, skipped meals, and carried the weight of your family on your shoulders so your children could have opportunities that you never had, this moment belongs to you as well. And to every student that is here tonight, hear me clearly. You belong in every classroom you walk into. You belong in every boardroom. You belong at every table where decisions are made. You belong in higher education, you belong in leadership, and you belong in greatness. The students here tonight, never let anyone make you feel otherwise. You have the keys to the car. You have the power to take that car anywhere you choose to go. You got this. I know that because I lived it. I grew up in Cudahy, California, which is a part of East Los Angeles. It's a small, densely populated city in East LA. Nearly 96% Hispanic. At one point, nearly 30% of the people lived in poverty. If you compare that, it's 12% nationally. Growing up, our idea of fine dining was when my mother upgraded us from generic to name brand cereal. Have you ever eaten roasted rakes? It's pretty good. Was it safe in East LA? Not really. Violent crime was high. Property crime was high. People told you not to walk alone at night. People told you to keep your head down. People told you to survive more than they told you to dream. But even in difficult neighborhoods, dreams still exist. And eventually my family moved to Pueblo, Colorado, specifically the Bessemer area, which is on the southeast side of the city. And honestly, it felt the same to me. There were drugs. There was crime, lots of broken homes, people struggling just to survive. Cedar Route, Jones Street, families barely making rent, people trying to escape cycles that they were born into. We moved from house to house because we couldn't always pay that rent. We lived on welfare, we used food stamps. My mother worked several jobs just to keep food on the table. My mother, sitting right here, is my hero. She raised 4 boys largely on her own. She sacrificed her own life so we could have a better one. And even though we were poor financially, she made sure we were rich in values. She taught us morals, she taught us respect, she taught us dignity, and she taught us integrity. Most importantly, she gave us confidence. She taught us that confidence in yourself can help pull you out of the poverty cycle. That lesson changed my life. You see, when I was a child, I barely talked. Not because I didn't want to, but because I had a severe stutter. I was terrified to speak. Teachers thought something was wrong with me mentally because I stayed so quiet all the time. There was one teacher. If you're a teacher in this room, please listen to this. All it takes is one teacher to change your life. Mrs. Trujillo. She realized that there was nothing wrong with me intellectually. I was just simply afraid to talk. Afraid of being embarrassed. Afraid of being laughed at. Afraid of failing publicly. And maybe some of you here tonight, maybe you know how that feels. Maybe your fear is not stuttering. Maybe it's fear of rejection. Fear of being different. Fear of not fitting in. Fear of not being good enough. But let me tell you something. Your fear does not define your future. I remember being in school one day when a teacher asked our class about our dreams. And I said I wanted to talk on the radio someday. I wanted to be a broadcaster. I used to listen to people like Wolfman Jack. Remember Wolfman Jack? Yeah, Rick Dees and all those great broadcasters. The teacher laughed in front of the entire class. She said, "Philip, you barely speak. You may want to dream about something else." Certainly hurt, of course. But sometimes pain becomes fuel. I went home upset. I told Mrs. Trujillo, I told my mother what had happened. I'll never forget what both of them said collectively. Said, "Only you get to decide what you do with your life. There's no excuses. You'll prove them wrong." These words changed my life. You see, I was a lamb before, very quiet, but I wanted to become a lion. Dave Chappelle once said, "Sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb that you really are." What does that mean? It means there are moments in life where you must be bold. You must be fearless. You must fight through fear. You must believe in yourself before the world believes in you. Sometimes the quietest people have the loudest dreams. And eventually I did prove that teacher wrong. I studied business management and broadcasting at what was then the University of Southern Colorado, now CSU Pueblo. And that education laid the foundation for everything that followed. I entered the broadcasting industry with Clear Channel Radio, now iHeartRadio. I worked relentlessly. I outworked people. I stayed focused. I learned every part of the business. And eventually I became production director and program director, helping lead stations in Colorado Springs and Pueblo to record-setting success. For the students here today, you know that kid who barely spoke, the voice people heard every single day is something that I'm very proud of. In fact, for years, if you ever heard an Arby's commercial nationally, I was that voice of Arby's that made you hungry right after Barry White. Life is funny sometimes though, right? The same kid people doubted because he stuttered, built a whole career on his voice. But let me tell you something important tonight. Hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. It's a fact. There are talented people everywhere, but talent without discipline means absolutely nothing. You can be gifted and still fail. You can come from privilege and still lose. You can be underestimated and still win. Why? Because consistency matters. Character matters. Discipline matters. I ask you all to dream big, work hard, and stay focused. Surround yourself with good people. Students, look around you. Some amazing donors tonight. Mentors, utilize them as a mentor. That's the secret. There's no shortcuts, not luck, not excuses. Dream big, work hard, stay focused, and surround yourself with good people. As my career expanded, I founded Phil Martinez Productions. What started as a creative vision grew into a respected organization producing media campaigns, concerts, live events, leadership seminars, experiences for major companies and national organizations. I had the opportunity to interview and collaborate with incredible entertainers. George Lopez, Mario Lopez, the President of the United States, President George W. Bush, the Vice President's wife, Dr. Jill Biden, Garth Brooks. I just did an interview not that long ago with Tim Allen, Buzz Lightyear, for those that know. I traveled the world, I spoke, I produced major events. I sat with celebrities, politicians, and world leaders, but you know what I discovered? Success alone does not fulfill you. Purpose does. Eventually, my heart pulled me toward nonprofit work and servant leadership. I had a chance to work with Operation Homefront, helping military families facing hardship across Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado. I served as a senior director for the United Service Organization, traveling to military bases all across the country, emceeing them, giving back, and producing concerts for them, supporting our service members. Later, I became executive director of the American Red Cross, of which I just retired, Southern Colorado chapter, serving over 1.2 million residents, responding to disasters, house fires, floods, crises, emergencies. And during those moments, I learned one of its greatest truths. People are stronger than they think. It's nothing like looking at somebody that's lost everything in their house and seeing the resilience of that person. Human beings are built for growth. Every challenge, every disappointment, every frustration, every dark moment. Those are opportunities, students, to rise. Let me say that again for the students in the back row, Timothy Chalamet's group. Every challenge is an opportunity to rise. You ask every parent here, they will tell you, life will not always go your way. And in fact, that is certain to happen. Expect that. You will fail more often than you succeed. You will lose opportunities. People will disappoint you. Plans will collapse. Relationships will fail. You will feel alone. But remember this too shall pass. The good times pass. The bad times pass. Everything changes. That's why I tell people, I try to live my life right in the middle. I don't get too high during my successes, and I don't get too down during my hardships. Try to stay balanced, stay grounded, stay humble, and because life moves in seasons. Sometimes your greatest growth happens during the hardest winters of your life. Here's another phrase I live by. Don't be bitter, be better. Some people spend their entire lives angry at what happened to them, but bitterness keeps you trapped. Growth sets you free. Your pain can either become your prison or your platform. Choose wisely. Students, some of you are going to walk into campuses where you may feel intimidated. You may feel like you don't belong. You may experience imposter syndrome. You may question yourself. Understand, that's normal. Don't shrink yourself. Your culture is not a weakness. Your background is not a limitation. Your story is something that is to be heard. It is your power. Your grandparents' sacrifices matter. Your parents' struggle matters. Your journey matters. And representation matters, because somewhere another little kid from East LA, Pueblo, or neighborhoods just like yours is watching you to see what you do. And when they see you succeed, suddenly they begin to believe that they can too. That matters. And you know what else matters? People that you surround yourself with. Parents know this. Show me your circle of friends and I'll show you your future. Find people who challenge you, people who inspire you, people who tell you the truth, and people who want to see you grow. And be careful who you allow access to your dreams. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your future. Protect your vision. At the same time, be teachable. Some of the smartest people I've ever met were humble enough to keep learning. Education is not just about getting a degree. It's about learning how to think, how to communicate, how to solve problems, how to lead, and how to serve others. Your education should expand your mind, but it should also expand your compassion to give. Never become so successful that you forget where you came from. Speaking of where I came from, greatest accomplishment of my life is not broadcasting. It's not leadership positions, not awards, no interviews with celebrities. It's my family. To my left, my wife Jackie, my son Philip, my mother. And tonight, I especially want to talk about my son. You know, when he was 2 years old, doctors diagnosed him as being on the spectrum. Once again, here came those labels we all know. Doctors said to us that he would struggle walking, he would struggle talking, he would struggle communicating for most of his life. Again, labels. Another person telling our family what is possible. But let me tell you what happened. My son worked hard. My family believed in him, and he believed in himself. Today, he has a high GPA in college. He studied abroad in Torino, Italy. He's performed in theater and directing at the university level for over a decade, and he just turned 24 years old. Honestly, my son inspires me because he reminds me that labels do not determine destiny. People may define your limitations, but they do not define your future. Never allow someone else's low expectations to become your ceiling. Students, you are entering a new chapter, and higher education is not just about careers, it's about discovering who you are as a person. You're going to grow, you're going to struggle, you will evolve. There will be moments when you feel homesick, moments when you feel overwhelmed, moments when you want to just quit. Don't quit. The world needs your voice, your perspective, your leadership, your brilliance. And let me tell you something else. Success is not about perfection. Perfection is absolutely impossible. Success is about resilience. It's about getting up again and again and again. I can't tell you how many times I've failed in my life. I've made more mistakes. I've doubted myself. I've had difficult seasons, but resilience kept moving forward. It kept me going. You don't need to have everything figured out today. You just need to keep moving. One step, one class, one challenge, one opportunity at a time. And remember, comparison is dangerous. Social media will trick you into thinking that everyone has a perfect life and everyone's got it figured out. Trust me, they do not. Everyone is fighting battles that you cannot see. Stay focused on your journey. Some people bloom early, some bloom later, but a flower never competes with another flower. It just blooms. Your time is coming, and parents, let me speak for you tonight. Your children may not fully understand the sacrifices that you made, but one day I promise you that they will. One day they will realize that you skipped things so they could have opportunities. You worried silently. You carried burdens privately. Your love built the bridge they are now crossing. Be proud tonight, parents, because your resilience helped create this moment tonight. And students, call your parents, please. Call your grandparents. Call the people who believed in you. Never become too successful to say thank you. Gratitude keeps you grounded. Before I close tonight, I want to leave you with several truths that have guided my life. Recap, dream big. Do not limit your dreams based on where you started. Work hard, because hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Stay focused. Distractions destroy destinies. Surround yourself with good people. Energy matters. Character matters. Your environment matters. Don't be bitter, be better. Life will hurt you. Grow anyway. Live in the middle. Stay humble during success. Stay hopeful during hardship. Remember that this too shall pass, because it will. Nothing lasts forever. Not pain, not failure, not fear. And finally, please believe in yourself, even when others don't. especially when others don't. Because the greatest breakthroughs often begin when somebody refuses to quit believing. Tonight I look at all of you scholarship recipients and I see future leaders. I see doctors. I see engineers. I see artists, entrepreneurs, scientists, public servants, and visionaries. I see young people who are capable of changing families for generations. And I hope you understand how powerful that is. And you are not just earning degrees, you are changing legacies. One day your children and grandchildren may look back and say, our family changed because somebody in our family had the courage to keep going. Maybe that person is you. Finally, I did come from poverty and fear, from self-doubt, from neighborhoods where dreams were often buried under survival. But I also came from resilience, from sacrifice, from faith, from a mother who believed in me, from teachers who encouraged me, came from struggle that strengthened me. And because of that, I stand before you tonight not as proof that life is easy, but as proof that transformation is absolutely possible. If a shy kid with a stutter from East Los Angeles and Pueblo can become a broadcaster, entrepreneur, executive, humanitarian, you can become anything that you choose to do. Never underestimate the power of persistence. Never underestimate the power of belief. And never underestimate what can happen when someone decides, I will not let my circumstances define my future. You have the keys to the car. Please drive boldly, dream fearlessly, lead courageously, serve compassionately, and never forget where you came from. To our incredible donors, look at these brilliant students around us. I promise your investment is in good hands. They are smart, driven, and already plotting how to run the world. If these students ask for your business card, give it to them, because in 5 years you'll probably be applying to work for them someday. Congratulations to all of you. Every scholarship recipient here tonight, I'm going to mention the names momentarily. It was an honor and a privilege to speak with all of you tonight. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate that.